everybody, and welcome to this second installment of the Lemon Light podcast. I'm joined today by several people. First of them was one who was here last time. That would be My Name is Jay.
That's me.
Yeah, I'm also joined by Mel.
Hello.
And I'm joined with Riley as well.
Hi, I'm here.
I also figure I should probably introduce myself because I forgot to do that. I'm Cello Chiquita. I was in the last one. Yeah. So this is the second episode of the Lemon Light podcast. If you missed the first one, this is not the first one. Go back and watch that one. Last time we talked about creation of a project, how you come up with an idea, how you decide what a project is worth creating, etc., etc. This episode, we are talking about the next step in that process, which is writing. And for the case of Lemon Light, it generally involves a lot of lyric writing. So I've brought together this group of people who has done lyric writing work for Lemon Light in the past. So yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today. Before we do that, we're going to go through and just let everyone introduce themselves really quickly. We already did it, but I want them to have a say on what who they are and what they're here for.
You didn't prep me on this.
Yeah, what?
I'm sorry.
This is
well,
one of the
okay.
written
Dang
questions
it.
you gave us.
Okay, wait. Okay.
All right.
We're so stressed out. You'd think we'd be better at this
Okay,
by now.
but when Cello was like, you can clap. You can clap if you want, so to sync the audio. I almost went 3, 2, 1. Yeah!
There are tears streaming down my face.
All right.
But I thought
Okay,
it was so
we're-
funny, and so that's why I was laughing. Anyway, but I don't think you could hear
No.
it. Anyway, it's fine.
I appreciate it. It's like, why don't we start, Riley, you button? Why don't you introduce yourself to everyone here?
Yeah, okay. Hi, I'm Riley. I've been here since... I don't even know how long. I was about to say Night in the Woods. That's not true. I've been here since Undertale, Genocide, the musical. But I started lyric writing during Night in the Woods. I started with writing the Clanky songs. That was my first Lemon Light writing experience. And then I also wrote like a handful of other Night in the Woods songs, Fireflies on the Porch, vignettes. I was part of the group that worked on the Astral songs. I wrote about half the Deltarune package with Jay, and I think at the time of recording, Madeline and Theo and Scattered and Lost are the only public ones, but I've written a lot of songs for the indie collection, but I think those are the only ones that are out right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So let's have Mel. Why don't you introduce yourself? And kind of like Riley did, if you just want to like list some of the things you've done around the channel or songs that you've kind of written so people know what you've done.
Okie dokie. Hi everyone. I'm Mel. Most of you know me.
Hi, Mel.
Hi. Most of you know me as Melodiva, and Mel. I've rebranded to Maiden, but it doesn't matter because everybody here only calls me Mel, so that's fine. I have written songs for Night in the Woods, along with doing like harmonies and art and lots of stuff for the group. But for lyric writing specifically, for Night in the Woods, I have done Shapes, Proximity, and I helped out with the Astro songs. And I've also written some songs for Gris in the indie project, but those are not out yet, so cannot say more.
Those are
Secrets. Spoilers.
We'll hear them when we hear them, and they will be fantastic.
Oh,
They will be.
Yes. Jay, why don't you go, and then I'll give a quick rundown of, I don't know, some things I've written, I suppose.
Whatever's off the top of your head.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Jay, which is a confusing username if you say it like that. But, yeah, I have a very small role in this channel. I am the director. And
That's tiny.
for a while, I was the main writer, like lyric writer, and then it kind of spread off into other people helping. So, but that means I wrote almost all of the Undertale Genocide stuff, almost all of the Undertale Neutral stuff, a big chunk of Night in the Woods, half of the Deltarune package, as Riley said, and not very many, but quite a few songs for the indie collection as well, which is very exciting.
Yeah. Jay is our lyric writer beginner, because you started it all. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
The founder.
Mhm.
Yes.
He created lyric writing.
Yeah, I invented
Invented
the
it,
words.
yeah.
Great
Wow.
job.
Very
Thank you.
impressed.
Thanks.
Just quick rundown for me. I'm Cello. You've heard my voice way too much on these podcasts already, and we're only to episode 2. I do a lot around Lemon Light, but I also occasionally help out with lyric writing. Jay says he wrote most all of Undertale Genocide. This is true because I wrote one song for
It was a
Undertale
good song,
Genocide. I wrote Once Upon a Time. I also helped out with the Night in the Woods, the musical. I helped with a bunch of people write the Astral songs. I wrote The Old Pickaxe. I wrote Greg's Woods. I took over Harfest from Jay. Jay started it. I finished it.
I wrote a whole verse.
You wrote a whole verse, and then you were like, no. And then I took it over.
That's like a
and-
lot of songs, actually.
And I helped Riley with Snow. So, yeah.
So.
Not so.
So yeah, everyone here has written. Oh, and for the indie package, I wrote the one-shot songs, which no one has heard yet, but you will hear someday.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. I'm sorry. Hey guys, did you know that there's going to be a one-shot package
Oh my
on this?
gosh.
Yeah.
What?
Sorry.
This is news to me. Am I in it or something?
I don't know. I'd have to check. But anyway, everyone here has clearly written and gotten a couple songs under their belt. So we're gonna talk about kind of the lyric writing process. Let's start with Jay, actually, since you wrote Undertale Genocide first, so you kind of have a wide range of how your lyric writing has changed, because you've written for quite a few things. But first question, what is the first thing you do in your process when you start to write lyrics? Like, what do you start with? I skipped
Wait.
a question.
Yeah, that's not the first question. I
I
was
scrolled
taken off guard.
incorrectly. You know what? I'm sorry. That's a good question. We'll get back to that one. But as you're deciding a project,
Oh, wow.
I'm a professional.
This is just a little teaser for
Just
later.
a little teaser
Little
for later.
snippet.
I have my answers in order of the questions that you gave us.
I'm
I wasn't ready to jump a
sorry.
line.
Lemon Light, we're a quality production company.
Is that our like slogan?
That
should be
Why didn't
our
anyone
slogan.
tell me about this? It's terrible.
It's better than Lemon Light. Good enough.
Is it?
Is it? Yeah, I mean, honestly.
Anyway.
At this point.
Anyway, Jay, specifically, how do you go about deciding what songs to include in a musical or a package? Because obviously you've worked on a lot of things. So what makes the cut, what doesn't, in your opinion?
Excuse me. There's kind of two factors that go into that. It's like the actual OST song being, one, suitable for lyrics, so it's not going to work if... Excuse me, wow, my throat. So it's not going to work if you use like the long elevator from Undertale, because that is one note. Even though it is a song on the soundtrack, it's not going to work. So you need to make sure the song is suitable for lyrics, but also make sure it's just like a good song to listen to, because... yeah, so you want your songs to be good to listen to. And the other main factor is also making sure you hit important, like, story beats, which was especially important for Undertale because it was a slightly divergent story, so we had to make sure we picked songs that would fit the story beats that we had created, and by we, I mean I, because I wrote it.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, so it's basically just making sure the songs are good, and will hit the story beats that you want to hit for the adaptation.
Right. Let's go to either Mel or Riley, whoever may have something on this. Just what Jay mentioned, what a song being good for lyrics. What do you think, or what are you looking for specifically in a song? If you're like, oh, that's good for lyrics, or like this would be terrible to write lyrics to.
For me, I know I mean, obviously, aside from when Jay says, I want these 3 songs to have lyrics written for them, because then, I don't know, I'm not really choosing them at that point. But when I'm choosing them myself, I kind of just listen to the songs that I love on the soundtrack myself, and that I would love to hear more of the game's story during that part, because I'm also very, like, story-focused and visually focused on that, and also I'm hugely selfish. So if there is a song on the soundtrack that I love that Jay hasn't said specifically, can you write lyrics for this? I'll try to, like, weasel it into
We'll
the
just smash it
package
into
if I
another
can.
song.
Pardon?
We'll just smash it into another song. That's what we
Yeah,
do.
I'll just put it in. I'll just put it in because I want to. I'm like, I'll do the extra work. I'll figure out. That's basically what happened with Husker B Ballroom, where it wasn't part of our package. And I said, okay, but I already wrote lyrics for it, so now you
But
have
it's
to
done,
do it.
so...
And then we did. But I try to imagine if I could see it being performed, like, on stage in a musical. And that's kind of what's important to me. I'm like, would I want to hear more of this song?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that sometimes, has there ever been, for anyone can answer this, if there's a song that you were really excited to write for, you're like, oh, this is a really cool soundtrack, it's a cool moment, and then you've gotten into writing it and it just, like, nothing happened?
Ooh. I
Well,
wasn't prepared for
Mel
this
and I
question.
worked together on, like, one of the, I can't remember, there's one of the Graveyard songs.
Graveyard
And
Investigations.
Yeah, I begged to write for it because I loved that song, and we started working on it, and just nothing happened, and we just sat, like, sobbing in call for, like, 2 hours until we were like, we have to step away from this. It ended up coming together, but
Yeah, it was very frustrating.
It was terrible.
Yeah, we could not figure that one out for a while.
I don't think we've ever, like, been genuinely frustrated with each other, except for
I agree.
literally those, like, 2 hours where
agree.
we were like, I need to not listen to this song ever again.
Right.
Yeah, that was pretty horrible.
A little insider view, I fought a bit for a song in Night in the Woods during Angus and Greg's argument when the car broke down.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even remember the song name. It didn't get put in.
I totally forgot that. Yeah.
I was super excited about it. I was like, I can absolutely make this work. And then I didn't. There was just a specific part in the song I really wanted to work on. But the other, like, parts of, like, the music didn't really allow for much of a, I don't know, much of a, I guess, a song for, like, the lyrics and stuff. But yeah, I really, really wanted a scene with, like, their argument, because I thought that was a super important part, and I was super down to do that, but it did not work out in the end. That's always those
things where I always kind of write them down, like, could I go back later when I have more skill or something? Would I be able to?
Right.
But usually after trying for so long, I just end up being like, I never want to hear this again. I'm not going back to it.
Right. Well, in that case, I'm going to jump ahead one on the list of questions. I'm sorry, guys. I know I'm skipping around, but this ties into what we're talking about. But what is it that you do if you're stuck like that on a song that you're doing? Like, it's just getting nowhere. What are some of your tips and tricks to get unstuck with writing a song? I suppose. I haven't heard. Let's go back to Jay. Actually, let's talk about that one.
I mean, it's already been mentioned, but as a joke, but I genuinely, if I get very frustrated with a song, I will give up easily and go to somebody for help. That's why a lot of the indie packages, especially Celeste, are written by a combination of me and Riley, as well as the Deltarune package, because I just go to Riley and I'm like, I'm stuck with this. Can you just write the rest?
And it's helpful because I'm like super stubborn, so I don't like being told I can't do anything. So he comes to me and he says, will you write this for me? And I won't say no. And that's kind of, I have a problem when I'm stuck, is I'll just go to DMs with Mel and, like, cry about it for a while. And then I'll just stay up all night and I won't go to bed until it's done. So I don't like give up on songs, but I end up sending it to everyone in the morning and I'm like, I hate this and I never want to listen to this song again. But that's, like, I mean, talking to other people, like getting help, because I am a stubborn person. I won't ask for help. But that's something that, you know, especially with lyric writing, you have to come back to it the next day. And if you say, you know, I'm not proud of this, you go and say, well, someone else might have a skill set that can do this, and I can't.
I agree.
Right.
I think also, if you're a genuine piece of advice if you're stuck, because go to somebody else for help isn't always an option. It's just Rhyme Zone and just look at words that rhyme with
oh my God,
a
God
line you
bless
already
Rhyme
have,
Zone.
and just try and
Most frequent
work your way
page.
around it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think stepping away. Oh, go ahead, Cello.
No, go for it, Mel. It's you're the important one here.
I don't know about that, but
That's so cute.
I do think, yes, stepping away and stuff is helpful, but I think it's also helpful to sort of, because you're listening to that song all the time when you're trying to work on lyrics, and so you're like repeating it and trying to fit where the words go. So I think it is really helpful to step away, and then when you listen to it again, try and listen to it without like the lyrics that you have already in your head, because then you can sort of kind of, I don't know, fall in love with parts of the song that, you know, might give you inspiration, and then you can sort of approach it in a different way, or you can be like, okay, this part that I already had written down isn't working as well, so it's okay to like redo this or revamp this part, and you know.
I think that people have a lot of problems with, like, you know, kill your darlings, and sometimes you have to say, you know, this song, like, if it's too ambient, or if it's not working with the story, the metric isn't right, saying I'm gonna go choose a different soundtrack to put this story beat to is it feels like a failure, but a week later when it's done, you'll feel a lot better. Sometimes you just have to say some things just don't work. You don't have to stay with it.
I think on the flip side of that as well is excuse me, don't get stuck on one line. So if you maybe have ideas for later on down the song, but you can't get like one line just down, like it's just not working, what I like to do is just like count the beats of the song, of the line, and then just write literally the numbers 1, 2, 3, however many beats there are, and then just carry on writing, and then go back to it later.
Yeah. No, I think that collaboration has been something that's been really helpful for a lot of people in Lemon Light for getting unstuck, and I think it's a good way to get other people to learn different things. Like I mentioned, like a lot of the songs I've written with other people. Like all, I guess we can. This is just my excuse to bring up the Astral songs. Here we go. This whole podcast has just been a framing sequence to talk about the Astral songs. But it's
if you wouldn't, I would have.
Basically. But the Astral songs were written by like 4 people, and I honestly, there are good chunks of it now that I can't separate which line I wrote and which line I didn't, but they just required 4 people to sit in a group chat and bust out 4 songs, and I don't think they would have gotten done if it hadn't been that way.
No, definitely not.
I don't think so. I think it was a good. I'm waxing existential, but it's like it really worked with like the story, because there was like the 4 musicians and they were the 4 people who wrote the songs.
Yeah,
I don't know.
No, you're totally right.
It worked,
and
you
also like
sorry, you just needed kind of 4 different voices.
Yeah, I just love it. I mean, I was just saying that, like, in my notes, like, when going into preparing for this podcast, I had to literally go back and be like, okay, stop talking about the Astro songs, because I never shut up about them. But that was a real effort in group work and bouncing off of other people's skills, becoming unstuck. But as an end product, oh my god, I still cry every time I listen to them. I'm so happy with them.
Cry. But no, yeah, they're really good, and I don't know if they would have turned out as good if we didn't have as many people working on them. And it was just kind of an interesting, kind of a unique process, and that I'm going to use that as a segue to move into our other question about what's kind of like the first thing you do in your process when you start to write lyrics? Say like Jay, or Jay assigned you, because that's how we've done some stuff in the past, or you've decided, okay, I need to sit down and write this song. And this is a very personal thing. What do you first start to do? What's the first thing you do when you're given a song to start your process? And let's start with Mel, I think, this time.
I think it depends on the song, actually, or like the scene, because there are some songs and things that are very like by the book to the scene following like the game or whatnot, and then there are some songs where it's more of like a general theme or something like that, an overall arcing, sort of theme to the game in general, maybe. So I really take time to listen to, I guess, the vibes of the song, and vibe check the song. Yeah, very specifically listen to, like, I guess the changes in the music, because if there's a part that really builds up and it peaks at a specific point, or it gets softer, or there's a key change and stuff, those are big moments that can also really make a big difference for like the lyrics. So it depends on how like the song transforms, I guess. So I like to just sit down and listen to, I guess, the flow, and then think about, when is this happening in the game? And if it, like I said, if it applies to like a specific scene, or would I think that it's, better to maybe talk about it, like include a theme instead, or something of like a more overarching, like overall topic, I guess. So that's what I like to do when I sit down first, is I'll just really listen and sort of try and digest the emotions that are happening.
That's really good.
Those are like solemn nodding.
It's just where that one Kermit gif, just like
Yeah.
Yeah. Riley, why don't you talk about what you first start your process?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the process is pretty similar, especially when we have such a story musical focused process. That's what we're all writing lyrics for. So I always start before even listening to the music. I guess I'll also sort of do this before choosing the song, but I'll start by transcripting or like screenwriting the story that I'm trying to tell. And then I listen to the track like 1,000 times on repeat until it's seared permanently into my brain. And I try to see if any of the lines that I had scripted out earlier fit metrically anywhere in the song, and kind of that spreads out from there. It becomes easier once I think of it in that sort of linear story sense. And I'm always visualizing blocking and choreography in my head, like it's, being performed on stage. And by the end of the process, if I can sort of, like, quotation marks, see what this song would look like on stage, then at that point I can hang it up and be like, okay, I'm happy with this product.
Right. Which I'm sure it's really helpful, like, later down the line when we have artists and you're working on editing.
Yeah,
you're like,
sure.
oh, this came out great.
God bless
because
artists.
I can see it. Oh, for real, though.
That's a really interesting thing that you say, though, because you imagine it like blocking out in a stage sense live.
Yeah.
I imagine it much like sort of an animatic art-wise.
I think that's because
that's really
you're
interesting.
Also like an artist. You're a visual artist.
Yeah, I just think that's a very interesting
here.
Difference.
Yeah.
Though I also imagine for specific songs for stage, but I just think that's an interesting contrast.
Yeah, and then cello's like, and I imagine it when I'm sitting mixing it. I look at what the sound bites are.
A little bit. I do sometimes when I'm writing. I'm like, oh, this chorus is going to be really cool here, and it just stacks of people, and there's cool I don't know, but I'm a mixing person, so I think of it like I when I'm writing something, I write it like I want it to sound good. I don't know, and it doesn't always happen, but like I usually when I start writing, I'll have to sit down, and I have like so many voice memos on my phone of just like me sitting in the car playing the song on loop and just like
Oh my God, me too.
just like
Yeah.
working out a melody.
Yeah.
Because I'm like,
sure.
okay, this is my little intro. Okay, and then it starts here, and so I have to kind of, like everyone said, kind of listen to the song, and figure out like what scene I want to go in X song, and then just like, I don't know, figure out the melody, figure out the structure of the song, and then work backwards and fit the like scene that I have in my head into the melody
Yeah.
and the structure I've worked out. And sometimes I have to. And sometimes in Lemon Light, you have to loop a song. You have to stick a different song somewhere. You have to stick 2 different songs together because you're like, I have
Mashup.
this scene
That's
and
my
this scene
nightmare.
Yeah.
that I need in this one song. So we're gonna stick
hate when we
3
have to do
songs
that.
together.
Me too.
But
Personal pet peeve.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
Yeah, because you're a mixer. You're like, whoa, we
I
can blend these
guess.
things together. And I'm like, I don't want to have to do more work.
You're like, I have to
This is
switch.
hard.
I have to switch between this song and then I have to go to this song. Ugh, like
I mean, I like that because it means you can fit like 8 songs into a 5-song package for the indie collection. Technically,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. No, the
Mhm.
indie collection is a particularly
Yeah, Jay always gets mad at me because I'll be like, I want to do these 4 things, and he's like, this is a 2-minute scene in the game. You cannot use 6 9-minute songs.
And you're
like,
like,
why can't I?
watch me. So
I do what I want.
basically, Jay, what's your process look like?
Honestly, I just listen to the song over and over until a really cool line pops into my head, and then I just write around that one line.
That's
So
so
with-
valid.
Yeah, for sure.
So some songs you might notice that one lyric is just a lot higher quality subjectively than the rest. like First Steps from Celeste, the Celeste package comes to
Oh.
mind. They if you take the leap and dive into the deep end, that was like the first line that came into my head
I love
while
that
listening
one
to the
so
song, and then I just
much.
wrote like the themes around it of like, oh, trying and making sure you try and aim for the goal and that kind of thing.
I mean, okay, honestly, I do the same thing with my writing. It's like, why do you
Yeah,
think
everyone go back, I Spy, try to find the line that inspired the rest of the song.
100%. We all have done it.
It's like, why do you
Yeah.
think old pickaxe is said so many times in old pickaxe? Because that like first line, it's like through the old pickaxe door. That came to me out of the blue, and I was like, that's it. I'm writing everything else around that because I'm done. So
And then she did.
and then I did. So
It's like
and
your
then,
brain
but
gives you a
because
lyric for free.
it was
Yeah.
originally just like it was going to be called B. And I got to the end and I was like, can we call it the old pickaxe? Because that's the name of the track. And like, I steal names from tracks all the time. Like, One
Oh,
Shot
for sure.
One Shot hasn't come out yet, but you'll definitely see a lot of that in One Shot.
Oh, I
It's
feel
fun.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
Every single song I wrote for, basically every single song I've written is always just the track name. I'm like, I've already done the lyric writing work. I don't have to come up with a title. It already exists.
Me,
yeah. Well, I mean,
me,
That's kind of
me,
how, like,
me writing
yeah.
the last sentence of Proximity. Grateful that you're
Yeah,
in my
proximity. It's like, okay, you
Nailed
did it
it. Done.
Done. High five, go to
send,
bed.
That's
print,
it.
call it.
Yeah,
well, I mean,
seriously.
that's basically what, like, if you go to any sort of, like, actual, like, professional music producer, they're like, what's the hook? You gotta have a hook to your song. And,
Yeah.
like, a lot of the times, if your hook can be... The hook is the title of the song in, like, popular music
Yeah.
and professional music. So it's like, we just do the same... We're just professional. That's all that means, right?
We're so professional.
so professional.
This podcast is clearly evidence of that.
Oh,
Sheesh.
oh
Yeah.
boy.
Me eating my Sour Patch Kids under the desk. as
Riley,
I'm
we were
recording.
gonna mention the Sour
Oh, I'm
Patch
They had to
sorry,
figure
oh
it
God.
out.
Oh,
Damn
no.
it. Guys, guess what snack I'm eating right now?
Guess in the comments.
Guess in the comments below. Let us know.
Okay. Cool. We're gonna move on to the next question. If people got it. I don't have a good segue, but it's like, what's your favorite type of song to write? Like, if you get a chance to choose, because sometimes, again, you just get assigned a thing and you have to buckle down and do it. But if you're like, I want to do that one, I'll take this scene. Is it an instrumental thing? Is it a scene thing? What do you look for when you're looking for gravitating towards a song to write? Let's start with, I forgot who ended last time. I guess Jay ended last time. Let's start back with Jay. and we'll go backwards.
Okay. I mean, obviously, being like the director, I get probably the most choice in the songs I write.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure what draws me. I kind of like big dramatic boss battle kind of themes, like Alphys Takes Action, that kind of vibe. Because I don't know. I think I'm a lot better at writing those. They work a lot better with my brain. I think when it's just like a conflict and it's a clear like character that the audience is like behind, and one that the character is against. That kind of vibe just works in my head. Conflict, I guess.
Right. You're your boss battle song.
Yeah, basically.
So, yeah. Is there like a specific like? So I guess you'd look towards just like bombastic, big, high energy like instrumentals in your music. So is that?
Yeah, I guess
so.
so.
That's correct.
I hope
Alphys
it's an
Takes
instrumental
Action.
for lyric
No,
writing.
acapella.
Wow. Acapella
Yeah,
rap
like-
battle.
Alphys Takes
love it.
Action, Megalovania, Megalo Strike Back.
Oh yeah.
Heartache from the Neutral Package. That's one of my favorites.
That one's a good one.
Hey.
Yeah,
You're,
that kind of vibe.
I mean, Spear of Justice, etc., etc.
Oh, of
So,
course, yeah.
Yeah.
Which made Night in the Woods the musical great because of all the boss battles it had.
that
Yeah,
we're
for
not
sure.
there. It's funny because I'm the exact opposite. Like I hate writing like boss battle ones. If there's like one thing happening, if like you're like what happens in this song brief is just like they fight and one wins. I'm like I can't do anything with this. This is
I
ridiculous.
love those.
It's
Yeah.
like so we'll give them all to Jay because it's like I don't know. Looking back at all of mine that I've written, it's like okay, so character talking with character about I'm like I'm a duet person, which is just I don't know. It's weird, and it's never like things happening. Like occasionally, if it's things happening, it's just like two characters talking, having a conversation, and maybe they do a thing at the end. But
Slice of
I don't know.
life.
I usually, yeah, it's like because it's
That's
like
so
you look
cute.
at Old Pickaxe, you look at like Greg's Woods, which is very much just like
Yeah.
Greg's talking about like his life problems, and like there's occasion like May is there.
Vibe and duets.
I
She
guess
just
vibe
there.
and duets. I guess that's what I go for. So I kind of like the slower, more emotional songs
Snow comes to mind
for me.
immediately.
Snow was so much fun.
Even though you didn't technically write that song. You just kind
We
of...
don't talk. We don't talk about that. We don't talk
We
about the fact that
put in
we
the
just
work. We put in
didn't
the
write
work
that.
before Snow so that Snow could be easy
Yeah,
Mm,
you're welcome.
because
Okay.
it's just full of motifs.
We say to ourselves.
Yes, it helps justify feeling better about it. So
Yeah.
I
yeah.
guess that kind of thing is why... This is just like a thought I just had, but
No, go
that's
for
probably
it.
why Night in the Woods the musical kind of split less from me writing it all. Because like Night in the Woods is obviously a lot more kind of slice of life, characters talking, and Undertale obviously has a lot more like boss battles. So I guess
Yes.
that's kind of
Yeah.
why it naturally just kind of split into other people doing the writing.
yeah, I can see that. Jay was like, I hate writing all of this. Other people do it.
I hate writing. Why am I doing this?
You know what? Let's disband the entire group. I don't like this.
Yeah, okay. As of right now on this podcast, the
Oh,
Lemon
no.
Night
Guys,
is over. This
we're
is the last
done.
thing you will ever
You're
see.
watching
Everyone,
me get
thank you.
You're watching me get fired on podcast. That feels bad.
Yeah.
But let's see. Riley, do you want to take a stab at your favorite song? What scenes or songs do you like when you're
Favorite type of
listening
song.
to a soundtrack and you're like, oh, that's the one I want to write. Like what usually
Yeah,
is
I
that
don't
song?
know. I think that I went back to look at sort of like the list of songs that I wrote for Lemon Light,
Mhm.
and there's not really a super like pattern through line. Like I think I'm kind of all over the place. It's very dependent on the song itself. I'll kind of just throw myself into anything. But my favorite ones are like the huge like poetic, broadly metaphorical, descriptive songs that like, you know, a lot of those big chorus pieces are really fun. Like, I mean, here I go again, but I'm going to bring up the Astro songs again. Because, like, I don't know.
Check that
Also, knowing that it's going to be a chorus song as a lyricist, that's probably the most rewarding as a finishing product, just because I know how much work is going into it. And also, every time I hear, you know, like, those big ensemble chorus hits, always make me cry. Like that's literally the cries, yeah, like whenever it hits that, and also like the here, like all of that stuff.
Yes.
Those things that we it's just so rewarding to do that. But more specifically than just like me gushing about Astro songs, because I like big chorus pieces. It's I don't know. I like story songs a lot, but I really like those ones where it can be really poetic and whatever. Like for specifically Astro Fish, we literally just said, or like train or Astro Train or whatever, we were like, yeah, let's write a 4-minute song about trains, and then we did, and it means other things because I like doing those.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm all about metaphors and stuff, and I don't know. I just really enjoyed being like, yes, this is about a train. Wink.
But
I don't know.
actually-
I don't even know if that answered the question. I'll write just about anything.
Yeah, you're
But you will
very
always make it
well-rounded.
metaphorical.
Oh, thanks,
Yes.
babe.
Yeah.
You'll also put fireflies in there, no matter what.
Yes. We'll
Yeah.
get
Well,
to
that's what
that.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Quick question before we go to Melt for you, Riley, specifically, because
Yeah.
you are the one who wrote our original song for Night in the Woods, the musical.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're like a composer as well as a lyric
Ooh.
writer. So like
Am I?
what I don't know, if I could just like pick your brain a little bit on that process. I can't even I'm trying to remember how it even came into being as a song that was going to be put into the musical, and I'm trying to remember exactly how that went down. But if you and
Yeah,
maybe
I
Jay,
don't really know. I guess
think-
it was one of those things that we're just like everybody I think that has gone playing or watching those playthroughs of Night in the Woods or whatever. I think everybody kind of just your Die Anywhere Else and your Pumpkinhead guy and your Weird Autumn and stuff, and I think everybody just kind of flocks to Google and is writing like, go get Dead Angel Face, like, where is this song? And I was just kind of shocked, because I did that too, obviously. I was so interested after experiencing the game myself, and obviously at that point I knew we were going to be doing it, so I was wondering where it was, and I realized, and I was so shocked to see that it didn't exist anywhere. And you know, we sort of knew, like, it was one of those Easter egg things that you find on all like the wiki comments and stuff of like, no, the song doesn't actually exist. We don't talk about Go Get Dead Angel Face. That's part of the story in Night in the Woods. But I was shocked that nobody had done it yet already. And I write a lot of original songs for my own channel. I've been writing and singing and like
Self-promo.
performing. Yeah, self-promo.
Yes,
Everyone go to
please.
my channel.
Let's go. No,
I mean,
please
that's
do.
right. It was something that I've been doing for a while, and just for fun. I just really enjoyed it, and I was already playing May, and I was already lyric writing other pieces for Lemonlight, and I don't know, I guess I had the idea myself where I said, I'm going to write this song anyways. I'm going to write this song and I'm going to put it on my channel. And then after I finished it and I was just really pleased with it, I was just super happy with it. And I said, like, you guys, we can have it. We could put it on Lemonlight. I don't mind. And then, you know, we cello busted out that like bass OST sounding piece for it, because I only play ukulele, and it went up as a Lemonlight piece. And I don't know, I've always loved original music, and I've always been a bit disappointed that that wasn't something we got to do more at Lemonlight, but I mean, I understand what we do here. But that was just a really exciting piece, and to also go back still, I guess it's been like maybe a year or two later, I think it's still the only fully formed Go Get Dead Angel Face song
I think so.
that's on the internet, that's pretty insane for like a lot of reasons. I mean, for me as a writer and like, I don't know, composer it feels like a bigger word than me like strapping my ukulele on, but I and also like singing it and writing it and all of that stuff. I don't know, that's something I'm just proud of, I guess, as like just a person that likes the game.
Yeah. I think it
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. I think it's awesome that we have it on there, and I think it's a really good showcase of not only your like lyric writing ability, but also just like your songwriting, your excuse me, your like ability for like melodies and bridges, and I don't know, because
That means a lot to
that's
me,
important
thanks.
stuff for, I don't know, what we do. Obviously, a lot of it is taking a previously existing song and
Mhm.
lyricizing it, which is like it's no like easy feat, like, but
No,
it
it
is,
definitely makes me appreciate what we're
Mhm.
already doing a lot more.
Mhm.
yes,
Because to be like how complicated and beautiful these soundtrack pieces that already exist are.
definitely.
Yeah.
Now I'm realizing
Yeah.
there's probably at least a few people who have like looked for Go Get That Angel Face and
And just
saw-
found ours.
No, and found
that's-
ours, and then seen
Yeah.
yours, and we're like, oh, another one, and then it's just the same
It's
song.
the
Same
It's the
song, it's the
same.
exact same song. I'm like, I'm so sorry. There's
I-
only like 3 versions of it on the internet. It's this version on my channel, the version on Lemon Light, and I think one person did a cover of the
Yeah.
same song. So there
Yeah.
are 3 versions of this song, and they're all the same.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
I don't know. It's cool. It's like you can have the
Yeah.
like bass version and the ukulele version. Take your
Yeah.
pick.
And the one that has harmonies, the cool cover that I really love.
Me
yeah.
too.
I can't remember who did that cover, but if we can find it and like post a link,
I think
go
they're
watch,
actually called May.
go
I think
watch
the,
that.
The actual
go
title,
watch their
the channel's
cover
called May.
because it's really good. So, we gotta swing back around to Mel and ask what is
Making me
your favorite
go after
type of
that.
song. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
My favorite type of song? I think I agree with Riley to some extent. I prefer, I have a preference for songs that can be taken not so literally, that are more like metaphorical and symbolic. I really think it's not that it's mandatory, but I personally find a lot of value in songs that can be listened to without immediately knowing like the game it's from, with like character
Yes.
names and stuff like that. I think it's nice to sort of have a semblance of I don't know, metaphor or symbolism and stuff that it can relate
Where
to
it's
other
like-
people who won't just be
Yeah.
searching for the game or something.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
someone who's never
I agree.
played Night in the Woods can still listen to Proximity.
Yeah,
and, like,
exactly.
hear a really good song,
Mhm.
or like Ancient History.
Yeah,
or
for
stuff
sure.
like that.
Oh.
Where it's like you
Yeah.
don't have to know
The character
May and,
or whatever.
You don't have, for like Proximity. You don't have to know May or B or anything that's going on. But like everyone's had like this experience and can like
Yeah, go listen to
Feel
Rainy
these
Day
emotions.
right now.
Oh my
Pause
gosh.
the podcast and go listen to Rainy Day.
But
Stop
yeah,
tempting
exactly.
me. Oh.
Yeah, so I definitely prefer writing sort of in that like style. And I think I probably prefer solo pieces, or at least that those are the like most of the stuff that I've written by myself is solo stuff. And it's less like scene heavy and more
Right.
more to do with like a more overall arching, like, I don't know, experience that I like to relate to a lot of different,
Mhm.
I want people to be able to like understand that feeling,
Mhm.
like in Proximity and stuff like that.
Yes,
Yeah,
very
I
much
agree.
so. Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, Jay, that sounded like a very suspicious. I'm sure it
Oh,
was
no.
I'm sure it was a
No, it
of
was
dissent,
emphatic.
of assent, but it was very
It
much
was
like
it was oh wait, people are agreeing. I should also agree.
right.
I'm like, what?
Right,
You don't
right.
agree that Proximity was just me venting?
It's like we know.
We love to see it. Kind of tying into that, this is the part of the podcast where you call yourself out, or everyone calls everyone else out. But
Finally.
yes. But what would you say is like your lyric writing like style, or your fingerprints are all over the song, or do you have a running theme? We've joked a lot about this with Riley.
Yeah, this is where everyone makes fun of me.
This is where everyone
But
makes
I
fun of
deserve
Riley.
it.
So Riley, tell us about those fireflies, huh?
Yeah, okay, so we know. Fireflies on the Porch was one of the first songs that I wrote for Lemon Light, and it's kind of become this in-joke where I try to slip a Fireflies reference into every song I write, regardless of the game or the song that it is. Like, if
There
you
is
go
one in
through...
indie. We will say that now.
Yes.
There's an indie, there's multiple in Night in the Woods that have nothing to do with that song. There's, I think, in Deltarune as well. Like, basically everything I just try to put in as much as I can. And if you go through my songs, if you're looking out for them, if you hear like a Fireflies reference, you're like, oh, Riley wrote this song, Parna.
Yes.
And then also everybody says I kind of have these two, like, distinct sort of, oh, this is Riley sent all over it kind of songs, where it's either this, like, tragically emotional song, like Ancient History is one of those, or it's, like, basically a rap song.
Yes,
It'll just be so fast.
100%
yeah.
with the
Yeah.
fast lyrics.
Those are my only, like, Clanky absolutely was
Yes.
just
Stick in my
like,
head
you're
all the
not
time.
breathing for the rest of this song. And Scattered and Lost, which just came out,
Yes.
it's like I feel guilty for the people we cast, but not guilty enough to stop. So
Right.
yeah,
I would also say something that your lyrics do is a lot of wordplay. Because, like, Clinky
Yeah.
has that too, but also Go Get That Angel Face, where you've got the, like...
oh for sure. I
I'm
love
starting-
puns.
I don't know. You're running on caffeine and spite is, like, such a great line, as well as, like, it's Coolio.
Yeah,
and
I love
just that
those,
I
like,
love
ones.
Constantly that it's like, that's the furnace, think I'm gonna name the furnace.
The
That just shows your
That just shows
immatureness.
your
Like, that one, like, those 4 lines are so Riley. It's kind of
thank you.
ridiculous. So
Yeah,
true.
I found I think that I really love sort of really misusing rhyme zone. And that's like, I don't know, I feel like I'm giving away my trade secrets here. I feel like I'll be out of a job if I say this, but basically, like, what I'll do for those sort of, especially the raps sort of really fast stuff, because that's a lot of the wordplay stuff that I really
Yes.
like. I'll like break down my rhyming words, so that, like, I don't know, the metric is not quite like 4x4 full, like, ABAB rhyming scheme. Like, it's I just break it up as much as I can, and it gets really fast in the end, because I just want to fit in as many words as possible to sort of
Right.
do this, like, I don't know, Hamilton style stuff, I guess, but I like it. I want to have fun. I really love being able to, like, finish a song and being like, I would love to hear this be done, but I feel so bad for whoever's gonna have to do it. When I finish a song and that's how I feel, I'm like, okay, I'm confident with this now.
this turned out exactly how I wanted it to.
Exactly. Yeah.
Impossible, but fun. So
Yeah.
Fireflies on the Porch should have been a rap. I have just now decided.
It
I
needed a
know, it was like the
breakdown.
second song I wrote for
Rap
Lemon Light.
battle.
I feel like it's time to go back and rewrite it as
Revamp
as
the
a, like,
flies.
as a real Riley song.
Revamp the flies.
Yeah. Sorry guys. And I really let you all down.
I'm ready for
It's
it.
okay. I think Scattered and Lost made up for it.
I know. I felt so terrible. I messaged Jay right after I finished that song, and I was like, so how mad would you be if we went into casting looking for a rapper for this? He was like, what the hell are you talking about? But that's my favorite stuff to do. I like doing the impossible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Mel, would you say you have a specific style or something that you've noticed yourself do a lot?
Nope.
And stuff?
Cry.
Cry. Yeah.
Cry.
That was my
What?
that was my magnum opus. Cry. in the Astral song, I made that good chunk of the chorus for Astral Fish. No, I don't know, unfortunately. This was
Right.
one question that I was like, uh-oh.
I think that, I mean, if I could answer this for you,
Please do.
whenever I'm
Thank
listening
God.
to a song that I'm like, I know this is a Mel thing,
Mhm.
it's very, I mean, and you mentioned it before in terms of the songs that you like to write, and I think that follows very well with what you do. It's very pretty, and it's very real, and it's not, it's not, you know, story specific.
Mhm.
It's, you can jump into it and be like, oh, I would hear this song on the radio and it would be like the new indie breakup song. Like, it's the same. It has a very universal emotional thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like it's internally story based versus like plotline story based, you know?
Right.
Yeah, well,
So
that's a
a
big
Mel
compliment. Pretty and real. They don't always like. You don't think that those would really go together because it's like, can you be real and pretty? But so that's
Yes.
Yes,
that's a
you can
very
be
big
real
compliment.
pretty.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
for Mel, it's like I've always been impressed with how you've been able to, I don't know, your use of alternate melodies over like the
Mhm.
instrumental
Oh, definitely.
is something
Oh
that
my
I
God.
suck at. I suck so hard at that.
Same.
So every time when I'm like, oh, this is kind of because I mean gestures at shapes. Now it's time
Yeah,
to talk about
yeah.
Oh
shapes.
yeah,
where I
that,
was
that
like,
one was
okay,
pretty wild.
because
Singing a Mel song, rough.
Yes.
But listening to it, holy crap.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
because
Amazing.
it's just like I mean it's like there's not a lot going like shapes is very just like do do do
Mhm.
like you've got like an ostinato piano underneath just doing its own thing and I would look at that and go like there's no melody here, what am I supposed to do? And Mel's like, I've already written it, it's fine, you're good, don't
Incredible.
worry about it. And it's very Broadway, it feels very good. There's usually your writing always has like a couple of good notes because it's very like a couple of good like this is my glory note.
True,
this is
that's
what
so
you
true.
wanna
Yeah,
hit.
gotta hit
You
that.
gotta get
the
to,
big
so-
one.
But
Yeah.
I'd say that's the Mel fingerprint
Oh,
is
thank
just
you.
like good melodies over stuff.
Mhm. Melodies. That
Ah.
I've
That's
been
not-
here all of
That's
the-
not
bye,
her
everyone.
name.
Anyway,
Okay.
so just a small reminder that I've rebranded.
Yeah, that's not her name anymore.
Yeah, Riley.
Oh my god.
I just know I was going Mel dot. But you know what? Bye.
Well, thank you. That's very
Yeah.
flattering. Thank you.
Yes. We're calling you out, but in a nice way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Take
That's
that.
called a compliment.
Wow.
Oh. Whoa. I'm learning things. Jay,
Yes.
I'm coming to you. What's your style, if you had to call it?
I don't think I have one. I do like kind of like repeating motifs and lyrics across
Mhm.
like different contexts, both like within a song and like overall within a project. So
Mhm.
no specific examples are coming to mind, but I kind of like in a song I would have like maybe a solo, like a main character sing a verse or two, and then later on I either have it be like a chorus behind the character singing something else, or like a duet or something. Either that
Mhm.
or, as I said, like across the whole project, having like a motif that just repeats. So like
Right.
for Night in the Woods, there's the "one more morning, one more day" line that appears a lot.
It's really good. It's a good one.
I guess I'd have to say that, just repeating things 'cause I get lazy.
You're really good at picking out like I don't know, motifs. There's a lot of times you're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, by the way, this song has this motif, so
Mhm.
like write that. And I was like, I didn't even notice it until you pointed it out. I think
Yeah.
Harfest was that way because it
Oh,
had
it has the
in the
Coal
middle,
Town-
yeah, in the
is
middle
it?
it has like Coal Town in it, and so I just took Coal Town and just because I think that was your idea. You're like, I have the first verse,
Yeah.
and I want Coal Town to go here. But and so like I hadn't even noticed it until you had pointed out. So you're really good at like finding the motifs and then using them effectively. So
Mhm.
Also,
I
this
agree.
isn't a fingerprint, but can we just like commend Jay's like severe glow up in lyric writing because
Yes.
we've been here from the beginning and lyric writing can be difficult, and the fact that I don't know, Jay, you've just like improved so much.
mhm.
And like the way that you still have some like things that I think are very you for writing, like but now you've like revamped them and transformed them into something that's like your strong suit.
Good.
Yeah, like your
Yeah.
your like your use of like looping and like repetition and stuff. And before you would be sometimes very literal with your lyrics being like, we're walking, and I'm like, nice. But now, but
True.
like, no, but like you'll still do that, but you'll do it in a way that like I don't know that gives charm to like the characters or to like give the scene ambiance because it's like a night in the
I
I
woods.
think that's
Woods.
Celeste.
You know, they're super
Celeste
casual.
is a really good example of that because when he came to me and it also brings in like the thing that we were just talking about, where you pick out the motifs both on like a story and in a musical sense. But you came to me and you said, okay, so for these Celeste songs you can do this, but I want you to have like one line that has to do with like reach for the summit is what it's going to be around.
Oh yeah, I forgot
right.
about that.
And that's just it follows really well in a character sense, in a way that like I think that you had that idea from the beginning.
Exactly.
Back with like Undertale and the beginning of Night in the Woods. Even I just slapped myself so hard. That really
no.
hurt. But you had that idea, but you do it a lot better now. Like and that you're the only one that has like been lyric writing right from the beginning, so we can
Yes.
watch that improvement happen. It's been really fun.
Work smarter, not better.
Well,
Well, work better, but also
I don't know about that.
Thank you, it means a lot. I'm glad
Yeah.
I've improved.
Me too.
Riley.
I'm sorry, that sounded so mean. It doesn't sound nearly as mean in my
No,
head.
it's good, it's okay. It doesn't sound mean.
And I honestly mean this as a part of like on a personal level. It's so evident that you're so much happier with your work.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, that's probably also because I don't
yeah.
have to write the whole
I'm
thing
sure that
anymore. I
helps.
don't
Yeah,
have
you don't have to write
writing
the
30
project.
songs
you're a
for
lot less
project.
stressed.
Yeah,
That's nice.
that probably
Mhm.
helps. Oh, I guess I have to answer this now.
Ha,
Dang it.
Yes.
Ha ha ha.
I would
Point
say
fingers.
my fingerprint. Okay, this comes down to I love that moment when I'm listening to a musical and you have like 3 people singing over each other. Differently. And that's my favorite part of musicals. So like all of my stuff has just people singing over each other.
La,
like,
la, la.
Just
Yeah,
the
I agree.
la-las. And like I don't know. There's something about just like there's 2 melodies going on here because like Pickaxe has it. Greg's Woods has it. I also like the like I don't know, taking a lyric that I've already written and then like changing it at the end to like mean a different thing.
Mhm.
Like I've written a song where it's like character at the beginning's like I don't know if I'm gonna make it, and then at the end of the song they're like I know I'm gonna make it, and I'm like, you know what that is? That's growth.
That's growth.
That's
In a
gross.
one song.
In one song we've had
Love
a
that for
character
you.
change. So I don't know. I just like people talking all over each other. I also like I use dialogue way too much.
I think that falls
When I-
into your like
when I do
preference.
stuff.
I think that definitely falls into your like preferences though for song types too, because you like
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
for
you
sure.
like back and forths and casual songs, slice of life stuff when people are like just hanging out and doing stuff, and there's
Yeah.
nothing that's like it doesn't have to be high
Yeah.
stakes. You're just capturing like a little moment, you know.
I like sung conversations
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, which I should
So.
say I'm thankful for, because that's probably the thing I won't do. I don't like that at all. That's one of the things that I'm like I won't do, just like a conversation thing. So whenever I still hey B, like we all still sing that, but it's so much fun, and it's in a way that I would never do that. For me, I would just be like straight dialogue, and I'd be like, I don't want to do this anymore.
I don't
you
know.
do it in a very fun way.
Mhm.
Thank you. I just to toot my own horn, I just love the part where it's like May comes in singing and B's like normally talking, but May's still singing along. Like
I love that.
I just
It's also
I
in
feel like it
character.
works.
It's
Yeah,
great.
it's very in character. So
Yeah.
yeah, cool. Well,
We're great.
yeah, we are great. Awesome.
I sound like such a terrible person. I
What?
promise I'm not.
What are you talking about?
I feel
No,
you're fine.
I feel like I'm being so modest right now. But yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm proud of us, guys. I
Yeah.
love us.
Yeah.
Everyone at Lemon Light works really hard on the lyrics that we do, and like everyone who's talking here, I want everyone to know, and I want it to be said that like everyone who's talking here is not everyone who writes lyrics for Lemon Light. There's
definitely not.
there's still like
Yeah.
a ton of
Yeah.
people who have written other lyrics. There's Tex. Donna helped us with Astral Songs. Tobin wrote all of Cuphead that's coming out and people have really liked.
Yeah,
and,
Indie
like,
Project has a lot.
Indie Project
of
has a
people-
lot of different lyric writers, and I'm very excited for everyone to see like the different styles and the different songs and people who
And it's also a lot of people's first sort of dip
Yeah.
into lyric writing, which is super exciting. I love, welcoming people into sort of like this art form that they maybe didn't consider being
Yeah.
part of before.
everyone can kind of get a chance to get their hands on it, because like
Mhm.
everyone in Lemon Light has a little bit of involvement in every step of the process, whether they're an artist or they write harmonies or they mix things or they're doing video editing. But I think lyric writing is kind of the biggest chance to get to the heart of what the project is going to be.
Mhm.
And so it gives everyone kind of a chance to, I don't know, make the project their own rather than just a thing they worked on. So it's something that is
That's
really cool that we
beautiful.
have a lot of people who do it. So
Yeah.
I also want to say on that topic, because we've
Yes.
talked about the Astrals a lot, they were written by, obviously, Cello, Mel and Riley, but also Donna, who isn't here, but she also
Yes.
did a lot of good work on them, and I just wanted to quickly mention
Yes.
that.
yes.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very impressive because like English is not her first language. I remember, I just remember getting in and being like, this word rhymes with this word. And she was like, "Oh, I didn't realize." But like honestly, it's
English is such a dumb language.
English is such a dumb
I know
so
that's not
bad.
what we're talking about, but
it's
let's get
like-
rid of that language. I'm
it's
done with
stupid
it.
impressive to not only like write lyrics because you're writing poetry, but you're writing poetry
Mhm.
to music in a language that's not your like first language. It's very impressive.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Very.
absolutely.
Very, very.
yeah. Yes. Okay. So we're gonna wrap this up, but I have one more question for everyone to kind of send us
no.
out. To send us out of
Yours.
everything because we're coming up on our time, and though this has been great conversation. I love talking about this, but you can choose. You either pick what is your favorite song you've written lyrics for, or if you can hit with what's potentially like your favorite lyric you wrote. Whichever one is easier for you to pick.
Oh, I didn't get prepped
so-
on this.
Yeah.
I didn't prep about the like favorite.
Now I'm stressed.
lyrics.
Cello is
but-
not an introvert, pass it on.
I'm sorry. I extroverted introvert, I guess. I can go
Both.
first if that makes it.
Yeah, please
if
go
that
first.
makes it
Please.
interesting. I think the favorite song I've written lyrics for, I think, was "Old Pickaxe," because it just felt like the song was writing itself, and
Aw.
it's been really interesting and really cool to see how it got used in the rest of the musical, and that ties into like my favorite lyric I wrote is the like everything's the same, nothing ever changed, because that's like, and that just got used throughout the whole thing, and I don't know, it was really cool to see it become such a facet for B's character in the musical.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like I had nothing to do with this; it just existed, and I wrote it down. So,
That's beautiful.
yeah. Who wants to go next?
None of us, so you have
know.
to choose.
I can go.
Okay.
I can go.
Okay,
I can
Riley will go.
I'll
Riley
take
will
one
go.
for the team.
Thanks, pal.
I don't know. I guess this feels like a bit of a cop out answer, but like I think I'll always have a special place in my heart for "Go Get That Angel Face." I think that it's my baby.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of it, and probably like my favorite line, just because it's such like it's a household phrase here, like in my social circles, and it's Coolio. I mean Coolio. Like always, whenever someone like in chat goes like, "Oh, cool," or "Coolio," we'll be like Coolio. Like it's I don't know. It's just
Coolio.
I'm so proud of it. But also like in I guess an underrated dual creation, I really really love Field of Hopes and Dreams and Scarlet Forest. I think that
Those were so fun. I love those.
those were
ones.
just so much fun, and it's not often that I'm really proud of these like just like good silly fun songs, and I really like those. And I mean, just like to like tack on at the end,
Yeah.
I basically wrote ancient history specifically for Mel to sing. Like it wasn't even a part of the package at the beginning. I just wrote it and sent it to her, and I was like, if you want to sing this, please, because it was for you.
And I was like, you're right. It
and-
is for me.
Correct. this
is for
what
me.
it is. And then she did it, and it was great. So,
good.
yeah, I think I guess to like end everything off, like my favorite everything is always the people that work on it make them so special. It's not really ever about the lyrics. It's about, the product. So yeah.
That's
That's the
so
end.
gay.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Fantastic. Let's go with Mel, and then we'll end with our illustrious director.
Sounds good.
Whoa.
I have a couple, so I'll try and make it quick. Proximity is obviously my favorite that I've written, because B was very. I mean, I related to B on a very personal level. Our situations were very, very like parallel in certain ways, so I really, really vibed with that song. So there was a lot of personal, like, sadness and frustration for that song, and I think that's why it is very raw and turned out the way it did, and I think I'm pretty happy with that. Especially the lyric, "No one understands this feeling," as I'm like forced into a crowd, you know, how I'm forced into revealing loneliness that screams out loud. That was very, I felt like we connected very hard on that level. And a hidden banger I would like to mention, Lori M. in Night in the Woods.
Oh my god!
I collabed.
So good.
I collabed with Jess on some of those lyrics, and Riley.
Yes.
And at times
Yeah,
I
I
fall
think I was a
asleep
part of
here
that.
between the tracks with no
Yes.
fear. Deep out in this forest lies thoughts and sky. I really like that lyric. I think it deserves, and the song
so
is really catchy. So I think people should rewatch that one and appreciate the
Everyone go
chorus
listen
part.
to Lori
banger.
M. Emmy did a great job.
Yeah,
Riley did a
Emmy
great
did
job.
great.
Everyone did a great job.
Very, like hidden banger. So I think people should watch that one. And then of course the Astral songs I think are just fantastic. I was really happy to work on those with everybody, like Riley said, because it's really fun
Yeah.
working with people.
Mhm.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it can be a lonely job sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, and one more thing. My favorite song that I've written lyrics for is not announced yet.
Mm.
Ooh.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
Get hyped!
Megalomania too.
Get hyped! Yeah, so yeah.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, Riley and I did a lot of work for Gris, so super
Yeah.
excited for you guys
Very-
to hear.
It's gonna
What
be
we've done.
metaphorical.
Yes,
And it's going to be so metaphorical.
metaphorical.
And,
and
wow.
very symbolic.
Yeah, you're gonna like it.
And since Riley was
else.
involved, it's going to be depressing and have fast singing on it.
Okay,
Yeah.
but excuse me, I also bring depressing to the
Yes,
table.
that too. But you bring
Double
the
the
metaphor
depression.
in with the
Okay,
depressing.
okay.
Riley's just like, and then everyone
Riley just
dies.
I
straight
love how we're
depression, no meaning
We're
to
like,
it.
guys, I am so depressed. Guys, we don't
But
talk about this.
that's just a normal conversation.
Just
Lemon
in
Light.
general.
Yeah, basically. Oh boy.
Ugh.
All right, Jay. Favorite song you've written for and or favorite lyric?
That's so many questions.
Yeah.
I said and or.
We also already went, all of us.
Yeah, it's your
yeah,
turn.
I know. I was trying to think. I don't know if I'm choosing these because of the lyrics, which I know is the point, or because of how they were like performed and how the final song came out. But
Either
I will
or.
have to say, Alpha Takes Action.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, big boss battle themes. I really like
Yep.
those, and I think, especially for how long ago it was, those lyrics came out really well.
Yeah, it's
for,
really good.
You know, for
It
me.
holds up.
And I don't probably Rainy Day as well.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah, Rainy
that
Day is
song.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
I think apart from one verse, it was the first. Like I don't know if I remember this. I can't speak today. Apparently, I don't know if I'm remembering this correctly. But it was like one of the first songs I wrote that got very like positive feedback
Mm.
that I'm remembering. So it also, yeah, as well as enjoying the lyrics I wrote for them, I also liked the circumstances around the song, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you
yes.
kind of wrote a scene that didn't really exist in the game, but it was one that was important to have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know if
'Cause
that's what you were
we've
talking
focused
about.
a lot on B,
Mm-hmm.
as we should have.
Yes.
Yeah, and either those or the Celeste songs I wrote. So First Steps and Hard.
Yeah.
Well, I worked with Jess on Confronting Myself, and I wrote Reach for the Summit.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe those as well.
Very cool. Well, awesome. This has been, I think, a productive session.
Is
Probably
it will be
one
a
of the
productive
only
section.
things we've ever done productively.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
We didn't
We made
even
a
do this
musical, Riley.
productively. We messed up
No.
and skipped questions and
And went back to them. It's fine. But,
fine.
yeah. So this has been the Lemon Light podcast, in case you forgot what you were listening to between here and the last hour. We talked about a step in the production process, which we do, which is writing, and specifically lyric writing, because that's what we do. Next time, I believe we are talking about casting, which will be the next step. So be sure to tune in for that one. But in the meantime, my name is Cello. I've been joined by Jay
Yeah.
and Mel and Riley. And yeah. I hope everyone has a good one, and we will see you all in the next episode.
Goodbye.
bye-bye.